A warm welcome. The world is facing intense challenges right now, with the rising tensions in many countries, plus the upcoming US election. But what do November's astrological energies mean for these countries? Are we on the brink of major changes? Find out more in today's November astrology update. But first, a warm welcome. And if you would like to receive weekly updates on current energies, sign up for my free newsletter. I send it out every Sunday, full of valuable tips and insights on what's important right now. And you can sign up just below this video. Before we dive into November's energies, let's take a quick look back. Some of my predictions for October have aligned with significant global events, including escalating tensions around Taiwan and Israel, and shifting geopolitics with Russia. These issues are likely to stay active in November, continuing to shape global dynamics. For the US, I analyzed the election day horoscope set for November the 5th, 2024, at noon in Washington, D.C. The moon is in Sagittarius on that day, positioned in the first house in the US chart, significant because the first house represents identity and the state itself. The moon is in the lunar mansion Mula, which is deeply connected to roots and the goddess Kali, a symbol of destruction and rebirth. This suggests a foundational transformation, possibly bringing challenges and a restructuring of core aspects for the US. In the US birth horoscope, Venus and Jupiter are in the sign of Gemini, together with Sun and Mars, and they are both in the lunar mansion Ardra. This speaks about intense transformative energies at the day of the election. And those planets are together with the Sun and Mars, and this is a strong transformative energies that could influence international economic alliances and the leading position, the financial system, and possibly also the dollar's position. The growing power of the BRICS nations could bring challenges for the US during this time or after, indicating turbulent times linked to the election and the future president. Yet, just as a light returns after the storm, the sun in Punarvasu suggests a chance for renewal and hopeful prospects, provided that wise leadership prevails. Then we have a new moon in the sign of Libra, in the lunar mansion Swati, and this is under Jupiter's direct aspect, and this raises the potential for deception. There is a chance that promises made to the public during the election or before and could provide difficult to keep after the votes are counted. And we know this is often the case, but with these energies, I think this will be a big topic. For the USA, an extremely transformative and exciting time lies ahead. Let's take a quick look at the horoscopes of the two presidential candidates and their energetic influences. For Donald Trump, in the annual horoscope, there is a strong activation of his sun, which sits in the 10th house of career, strengthening his leadership position. The sun The planet with the highest degree symbolizes his soul and his life purpose. This prominent placement of the Sun points to a powerful influence and a strong presence in the professional sphere. However, there are also interesting indications in the 12th house where Mars is currently in the transit. The 12th house often represents endings, retreats, or hidden challenges. So Mars here could bring surprises or unexpected turns for Donald Trump that signal a shift in his position or a weakening of his energy. And the 12th house is also connected to the topic of prison. On election day itself, there is a connection between Venus and the Moon, a strong indication since Venus is the ruling planet of his 10th house and almost directly conjunct with the Sun and Mercury. This adds extra charisma and support, enhancing his chances and his position in the spotlight. For Kamala Harris, in her annual horoscope, Mercury plays a significant role as the ruling planet of her first house and is positioned with the Sun in the 2nd house. However, the Sun in Libra is weakened, which could point to potential challenges in self-assertion. On election day, the Moon will align with her 7th house in Sagittarius, where her Ketu, the South node, resides. The 7th house represents the opponent and in this constellation suggests that the opponent may be weakened or possesses a transformative, nearly destructive energy. The election is significant for her as it occurs in the Rahu-Ketu axis, indicating karmic tests and deep experiences. A noteworthy factor is her current life cycle of Rahu in both the annual and the natal chart. And Rahu rules her first house or is present in her first house and could help her achieve an unexpected victory. In the annual horoscope, Rahu is in the 10th house, and this is providing ambition and a strong drive for assertion. Now let's take a quick look at other countries: Iran, Taiwan, Israel, Lebanon, and the Ukraine. For Iran, last Saturday, Israel attacked Iran. Currently, Neptune sits directly on Iran's retrograde Mercury in the 9th house in Pisces. This alignment affects religious belief systems and may lead to illusions or misunderstandings in foreign policy. The upcoming new moon will occur in Iran's 4th house in the sign of Libra, representing the nation and its people. Uranus is positioned there, bringing unexpected changes and sudden shifts, hinting at surprising developments within the country. Additionally, Ketu is situated in Iran's 8th house in Aquarius, which represents karmic themes and transformation. The stationary Saturn there in this area intensifies Ketu's energy, emphasizing themes tied to deep collective karma, maybe with Israel. And the ruler of karma is Saturn and may demand correction of past decisions. Ketu points to connections extending beyond this life, amplifying the significance of this special moment for Iran. And these astrological updates aim only to read the energies, not to pass judgment. I want to stress that for me, there is no such thing as a fair war. Every act of war brings unnecessary suffering, and acts of revenge only create more harm. Let's take a look for Taiwan. The coming full moon at 29 degrees on November the 15th in the sign of Aries signals a critical time as it lies close to Taiwan's own moon and Saturn and activates these placements. And this full moon falls in Taiwan's 8th house, representing dramatic changes and deep upheavals, energies heightened by China's ongoing threats. And additionally, Mars transits in the sign of Cancer at this time activates also Taiwan's sensitive moon, representing the people. And Mars and the moon occupy each other's houses, exchanging energies, which means Mars brings its aggressive, often unpredictable energy to the 8th house, the sign of Aries, and symbolizing potential conflicts and also weapons. Although this configuration doesn't necessarily signal armed conflict, the 8th house often signifies sudden, unexpected events and possible conflicts that Taiwan should be alert to. For Lebanon, the new moon takes place in Lebanon's 3rd house, symbolizing communication and efforts toward mutual dialogue. Challenging because some political factions may resist dialogue due to the impulsive and strong energy of the shadow aspect of the sun, which is called Vyatipata, and Vyatipata is in the opposite sign in Aries. And Aries strengthens tendencies toward quick and sometimes heated reactions, makes it not easy to find a solution. But we have one good thing. Saturn will become direct in the 7th house, and this could help to stabilize the tense situation surrounding also bombings of alleged Hezbollah locations and promote long-term strategic alliances. Retrograde Mars in the 12th house symbolizes hidden conflicts and unforeseen aggression, potentially fueled by covert operations or terrorist attacks, adding to Lebanon's uncertainty and instability. For Israel, December will be astrological significant for Israel, when Mars will get retrograde at 11 degrees in the sign of Cancer. It will activate the moon in Israel's natal chart, also at 11 degrees in Cancer. Now we have November, but that I could also see and is important. Since the moon represents the people, this alignment could indicate that special precautions may be necessary during large gatherings to prepare for possible attacks. Saturn, which will turn direct during this period, will activate Mars in the 12th house, suggesting also covert operations with potential weapon use, either against the country or its leadership. Because in Israel's natal chart, Mars is positioned at 5 degrees in the lunar mansion Maga, and Maga is associated with leadership and power structures, which could underscore tensions within the government. Additionally, retrograde Uranus is positioned directly over Israel's sun, indicating unforeseen events or the potential for a threat to Prime Minister Netanyahu. A final look at Ukraine. The upcoming new moon will occur in Ukraine's 10th house, where Pluto is also located, a sign for transformative and deep influences on the government and leadership of the country. This alignment indicates a period of upheaval, possibly accompanied by shifts in national identity. Mars in the 7th house, which represents opponents, intensifies the energy of powerful adversaries. Mars also activates the 1st house, which represents the country's identity and the collective will of the people, with the moon there symbolizing the people in the 1st house. This tragically shows the potential for further loss of life. The full moon on November the 15th suggests similarly intense energies, possibly adding further pressure on Ukraine. For President Zelensky, the situation remains critical, especially regarding his leadership role. Stationary Saturn in opposition to the 8th house, where the sun is placed and the sun is symbolizing leadership, continues to indicate challenges and instability in his position. I spoke about this for months, but it is really important, maybe now more than ever. The critical tension persists, potentially casting doubts on his long-term leadership role. So in conclusion, an especially important global factor is the upcoming US election on November the 5th. The election outcome could greatly influence not only the political and economic direction of the United States, but also international relationships and alliances. Astrological influences point to an election filled with surprises and deep transformations that could impact global alliances and economic dynamics worldwide. The astrological configurations for November suggests that these topics may drive changes on a deep level and test existing boundaries. The tension between security and change, control and letting go, will be as noticeable in these countries as it is worldwide. It will be fascinating to see how the energies unfold in these coming weeks and what lasting changes they ultimately bring. Even though November's energies bring intense changes globally, they are part of a natural cycle, closing old chapters to make space for the new. Changes are often signs of growth and development on a deeper level. While this process can be turbulent, it ultimately leads us into a clearer, more mature phase. Let us remember that life is cyclical. After every intense phase comes a time of calm and balance. The stars not only reveal challenges, but also offer opportunities in your life to emerge from these times stronger and be more aware. By finding trust in this flow of energies, we can see November's influence as a chance to gain more clarity and find inner peace. And please share this video with like-minded people, and do not forget, I love you.